Is everybody on page 4? Okay, let's do it together. Okay, so we have a rectangle. What makes this different than the rectangles you've seen is the sides. Sides are not measured, or they don't actually give you numerical measurements. Instead, they give you algebraic expressions. Now, we changed this a little bit. And I'm going to show you why. I want you to make this side 12y and make this 3n. And the reason why, and it's already been changed for next year, is that it becomes more believable as 12y being the longer side. Okay? Abdullah, can I have you sit, please? All right. So who remembers, in general, when you find the area of a rectangle, what two sides are you multiplying together? Everybody agree? Length, which I'm going to use it as a script letter so it doesn't get confused with the number 1, times W, or you could just put L and W together, or you could use parentheses. All three ways means to multiply. However, in this example, what is the length? The length, the longer side, 12y. And the width is 3n. So length times width now winds up being 12y, and I don't need the dot, 12y 3n. Looks kind of strange, but it means to multiply, which really is, if you think about it, 12 times y times 3 times n. This is just the way we write it. Now, combine like terms. Go ahead, Isabella. 36yn is our combined expression. Okay, so the original expression was 12y 3n, and then you had 36yn, right? Yes? Let's pick two simple values for y and n. Let's make y, make y2, and make n 3. Not too much, because you want to be able to do the math in your head. Okay? So now I'm going to substitute it in. 12 times what? 3 times what's n? Okay. What's 12 times 12? 12 times 2, sorry. Okay, now 24 times 9. You see why you don't want the numbers too big? Even with 2 and 3, you probably have to do 24 times 9 off to the side. Do it, Jules. 24 times 9. You can't do it in your head. Some of you can. What do you have, Mel? Okay. Mallory, what'd you get? Should be 216. What should I get for this expression if I substitute y as 2 and n as 3? It should be, right? Because these expressions are supposed to be equivalent. So now you have 36 times 2 times 3. I'm just giving it to you at random. I have to tell you those values. Okay? All right, so do the multiplication and see if you get 216. Recording again. Did you do the math on 36 times 2 times 3? Should have got 216, correct? Okay. I want to show you one more thing just to kind of put this into context. Y was 2, right? And n was 3? If I go back to the original rectangle, y was 2, and n was 3, right? What's 12 times 2? That makes technically the length of that piece 24. And 3 times 3. And then you do 24 times 9, length times width, and got 216. Okay? Yes? All right. All right, what about the area of the square in terms of x? When you see this in terms of x, it means that you cannot solve it with an actual numerical answer. Okay? You could combine terms, and you're going to get a combined expression, but you will not know the measurement of that side unless I give you a value. We'll give you a value to test it. But for right now, if one side of the square is 5x, what are the other three sides? So we get the idea that all sides are equal in a square. So they're all 5x. To find the area, side times side, length times width, 5x times 5x. I'll add the dot just so you could see it. But technically, you could do it this way, or you don't need it at all. You could just do this, and it still would be right. Now, when you combine 5x times 5x, what do you wind up with? Uh-oh. Thank you, Luke. Say it. But how do you say the two? Don't 25x squared, because remember, if you can't see it like this, expand it out this way. 5 times 5 is? X times x is? Put it in, Dan, please. 25x squared. Now we have to prove that 5x times 5x is an equivalent expression for 25x squared. Put this here. That was the original. Put this here. Give me a number. 2. Work smarter, not harder. Don't deal with numbers higher than 2 unless you have to. Okay, let's substitute 2 in. Can you do it in your head? I bet you can. Oh, I'm gonna. Really? Don't be sorry. Just get it right. Finish it. Thank you. You you crack under pressure. Now I'm going to add the dot here for a reason, because I want you to still, once I separate it, I want you to still, you have to apply the order of operations. So I put the dot in there for a reason, because you've got to do what first? PEMDAS. She cracks under pressure. PEMDAS, there's no parentheses, but there's an exponent. You got to do the exponent first, so. Which is what, so? Don't let me down. Thank you. 25 times 4 is 100. We're good. We did it here, hon. 2 times 2 to the second power. Okay. Skip 5. It's just confusing. Let's do volume, and then I'm going to let you guys work on exercises, but I'm not going to have you work in groups today. We have Mrs. Grosskirth here. We're going to get from table to table. We're going to meet with everybody and hopefully see who needs a little bit more assistance. Rectangular prism. Area of or volume of a rectangular prism is V equals, right, LWH, or length, times width times height. Now, when it comes to length, width, and height, it doesn't matter what you're calling what, but I like to call the longest side touching the bottom my length, because height's always up and down. Okay, so I make this the length because it's the longer of the two sides. So we'll say 3y squared is the length of that prism. The other side touching the bottom, if you would actually put this on a table, would be 2n. And 2y is your height. So without combining it yet, you wind up with 3y squared times 2n times 2y. Yes? Crunch and munch. Crunch it. Crunch it means combine it. Vari, uh, coefficients first, variables last. Where? This is two. Where? There's a 2n here. Question 2. Oh, should be a period. Raise your hand if you think you got it. Abe? Agreed. 12. 3 times 2 times 2. Yes? Still keep, now what? Sounds good. You're home free. Anybody not get that or need me to explain how to get that? Okay, so what we did, we had 3, because remember what this is. If I expand this, so you could see it, it's 3 times y times 2 times n times 2 times y. 3 times 2 is 6, times 2 is 12. Then I've got 1y, 2y, 3y, y to the third. That's y times y times y. And then the last n is left over all by itself with no company. Okay? Here, I give you the values to choose because if you go too big, even 2, you'll see it's pretty big. It's going to make it a little unmanageable. So we had 3y squared was our original times 2n times 2y. All right, let's sub it in. Y is 2. I'm going to add the dots because I want you to see these exponents now. You wind up with that. Because n is 1. This 2n is 2 times 1. Okay? Okay, that's why I added the dots. Exponent first. 4. Bring everything else down. Like I said, it's going to get still pretty large. But we'll do it together. What's 3 times 4? What's 12 times 2? Times 1 is still 24. What's 24 times 2? 48 times 2. 96. Thanks, Duels. Circle it. What should we get? What should we get for 12y cubed n? What should we get? 96. 12 times, what's the value given for y? 2 to the third power times what's the value for n? Thank God it's 1. What do you do first? 2 cubed. So 2 cubed. Gotcha! 8. She cracks under pressure. 12 times 8 is 96. Okay, all you will come by. Advanced, you have key privileges there and back.